There's always that one thing in a project that you just really don't want to do. For me, that's audio. Hello, all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. Let's talk about audio. So I've been away from this tower defense game for a few weeks now. I was focused on finishing some other things since the last time I did this, and I wanted to get some other stuff squared away before I spent more time on it. And today we're going to be back. I'm going to deal with audio. This is something that no, thank you. This is something that I've been putting off for probably several months now because I just don't like dealing with audio in games. It's not that the audio interface is bad, although the audio system in Game Maker is certainly not like the fanciest. It's just that it's more that the process of selecting sounds for all the different interactions that you could have in a game just does not interest me, and I feel bad about that because audio is an important part of games, definitely. And I definitely do want to do at least a decently good job at it, but nevertheless, let's do audio. So I've written down a list of some pieces of sound that I need, or at least that I'm probably going to need for this game. I've collected some ahead of time because I decided that spending like 40 minutes sifting through like sound effect databases is probably not the best way to spend a video. If you're wondering where these came from, I've got 14 sound effects here, which should be good for like most menu effects, most like hit effects in the game and that sort of thing. They came from either the Sonos GDC audio bundle. If I were to type that into Google and click on the first result, most of the sounds came from either this collection of sound here. Sonos is a company that specializes in like audio design, and they have a decently large collection of free samples, which they tend to put out come the game developer conference every year, and a lot of what you see here came from some of those. There's also you can see if you want to see the specific people who worked on them, the attribution in the file names, and there's also, of course, I've gotten a lot of 3D models from Kenny.nl. Kenny also has some sounds, which if I were to go to assets, go to audio. Kenny has a decent collection of audio assets, and some of I believe the UI audio is from there. Anyway, I do have other audio that I can use in games. I do not want to use it because a lot of it was paid, and I don't want to put a paid audio asset in a freely available project on GitHub. If you go to humblebundle.com, often, and I don't know if there's anything going on now, but often you will see, for example, things like a Unity assets bundle. There is one going on now for the next 23 hours, which means it's probably going to be over by the time I edit this video and post it. But I believe there may be an audio collection in here. I did buy this one, yeah, Fantasy Sounds bundle. Fantasy Ambient sounds pack. So if you're looking for audio effects for games, keep an eye out for things like this. Other resources, which I'll just list off the top of my head: Open Game Art. I mention this once in a while. I don't think I've got anything from here. I didn't end up using anything from Open Game Art, but there is audio of varying quality and other assets for games of varying quality on this website. There's always, if you're a user of Game Maker, the Game Maker Marketplace. The Game Maker Marketplace is not exactly the greatest marketplace in the history of asset marketplaces, but they do have some audio on the Game Maker Marketplace, which you may use. Some is free, some is not free. And another source that I occasionally look at is Game Dev Market. And this is a general, not tied to any specific game engine. Game Dev Market is a apparently I had this page bookmarked, and I just like it autofilled when I typed in Game Dev Market. This is just a general game asset marketplace, and there is some like background music, there is some sound effects, things of that nature. So if you're willing to spend money on game assets, definitely look at these places. Free assets do exist, but audio tends to be something that you have to either hunt really hard for or you have to pay for. And also there are generic like stock audio websites out there, but I've never actually used one of those, so I can't tell you too much about that. Anyway, let me get started with actually putting these in the game. I am going to... Let's see, I guess I'll just... I should probably take out GitHub Desktop and actually commit this change, because what I've actually done here is, one, updated GameMaker because there was a GameMaker update since the last time I recorded this, and two, I've put some of these audio files in a folder called Workspace in the project folder. This isn't part of the GameMaker project. This will not be distributed with the game when I build it, but I like to have a Workspace folder in the GitHub repository for a project so that I can like keep track of data like this, which I may be working on or maybe coming back to, which may not be ready for the game or something like that. Anyway, let me just go and drag that into GameMaker. I'm going to organize this into... they all opened at once. Okay. I'm going to organize this into a folder in the asset browser. And if I were to, say, create group, I'm going to say audio. I'm going to create another group within that. Sound effects. And let me just drag all of these into that sound effects folder. So I've sort of, when it comes to naming my audio assets, I've sort of adopted an RPG Maker naming convention. SC is for sound effect. BGM would be for background music. I've talked with someone about actually doing music for this game. Again, free music is something that I could use for this, but I'd rather not. I'd rather spend $100, $200 or so for like 5 to 10 minutes of music or whatever the rate would turn out to be. For this game, because I've already used a lot of generic assets between the 3D models and such, and I don't want to use generic like music as well. Anyway, so I've got, if I were to go into settings, I've only got one volume control. I do not have like a background music and a sound effect volume. That's fine, honestly. Is this, I believe, volume underscore master is set to update correctly when you hit these buttons in the volume controls. No, it does not look like it. Okay, so this is volume up. And this is volume down. Okay. So probably I should, around here, maybe in game.save settings, I should actually, maybe I'll make another method that's just apply volume. Audio, sound, gain. Can I just set the global gain? Gain is volume in audio terms. Audio set master gain. That's the one that I'm looking for. This is going to be the master volume for all the sounds in the game. Listener index. Oh god, can I just pass this to -1 if I'm not making use of emitters and listeners? Audio get listener info. The default listener index is 0. And the gain is between 0 and 1. Okay, so the index is going to be 0, and the gain is going to be volume master divided by 100. So that will set the volume between 0 and 1. And if I were to go into here, game dot apply volume, and I can do that with the volume down button, and I can do that with the volume up button. Okay. So let me get out of there. And I can make a commit. Actually, let's break this up. Added sound effect files. That's going to be one commit because I didn't do that the first time I pulled out GitHub Desktop, apparently, because I wasn't paying attention. And when whenever that finishes, which is going to take a minute because I want to say there's like a couple megabytes of audio in there. Set audio system volume. Okay, should I also do that when like the game is loaded? When the game loads its settings? Let's do that when the game loads its settings. Let's commit all that at once. So we've got a couple pieces of audio to play. One is SC_ambient. I'm just going to let this play, and you will hear what it sounds like. Is OBS set to record the volume off my computer speakers? Okay, it looks like it is. So that's just a little bit of ambience, of background ambience. It is 2 minutes long. It should loop pretty well. If I were to drag the playhead out there, hit the loop button, and turn up the volume so you can hear it. You should be able to hear that without... my phone just went off, and it's actually the guy who I was talking to about music. I should probably answer him, like, as soon as I finish with this video. This loops. So we're gonna start with the easy stuff. We're gonna start implementing the easy kinds of audio, and we can, after all the settings load, we can audio play sound. Audio play sound. I have yet to make videos on Game Maker's audio system, partially just because it's not something I'm really honestly interested in, and partially because I think there are other people who have done it better than I currently can. Anyway, the sound ID is going to be SC_ambient. Priority, that is just a higher number equals a higher priority, right? Because your device can play a finite number of sounds at a time. I think I would give, like, the ambient background sounds like bird chirps and bug noises and crickets and whatever a lower priority, and a sound with a priority of 100 will be favored over a sound with a priority of 1. Okay. Yeah, so I will give the ambient sounds a priority of 1. Background music can have like 5 or something. No, background music would have higher priority than that, and menu sounds and like gameplay sounds would be somewhere in between that. If you have a million sounds playing at once because there's a million like bullets being shot out at once during the game, it doesn't matter if some of them don't play. I would just like the background music to persist. Actually, you know what? I think I'd like the ambient sounds to persist as well, so I'll give that a priority of 100. And loops is going to be set to true, just so that it starts over when it finishes. So I'm going to play the game now. We're going to hear what it sounds like. And while that's running, while you just listen to the ambience, I'm going to see what the composer guy said. So, well, as my phone has been going off in the middle of this recording, something that's actually important for once. And Twitter on my phone has just frozen. Excellent. Twitter on my phone is completely unresponsive right now. Okay, he just said he would get back to me tomorrow. That is completely fine. Anyway, let's see. Play this. We're going to commit exactly 1 line of code in one empty line. Play ambient background sounds. All right. Next, there's build, which is what I'm going to have when you build a tower. There's faux die, which is self-explanatory. There's a couple menu sounds. Sell for when you sell a tower. Let's see what happens when you build a tower. Let's see. I can collapse a bunch of these sections of code right now. This is the game database. This is initializing the environmental objects. Initializing the UI system, setting stuff, initializing the game, go to level, go to next level, go to title, send in wave. I should probably have a sound effect. I don't think I have a sound effect for send in wave. Player damage for when a foe gets through. Game over. Spawn tower. That's this, right? This is what happens when I take a 2-month break between recording sessions for this game. Alright, good. So, when... in this block of code, This is where I can say audio, play sound. Sound ID is going to be SE build. Priority, I'm gonna... Do I have a... Okay, so I have a file of macros. I'm going to define some macros for sound priority. Macro... Ambient music and... ambient effects, rather, and BGM are going to have priorities of 100. UI is going to be stuff like both menus and also building a tower, that sort of thing, selecting a tower. That can have a priority of 50. And high priority gameplay things, such as when the player takes damage and that sort of thing, that can have a priority of 40. I'm going to give all these the same indentation. And low priority gameplay things, such as I don't know, like bullets being shot and whatever, and foes taking damage and whatever, that can have a priority of random range between like 1 and 25. And that should allow different sounds to be played. And if there's a bunch of sounds happening at the same time, some of them may play, some of them may not play. It doesn't really matter which of the 15 different like bullet shoot effects you can actually hear, because it's all going to sound blended together at that point. So sound priority ambient, if I were to go, let's see, give you the macro priority when I say play the sound down there instead of hard coding it to 100. SC underscore build, that I said was going to be UI, right? No, I think that was gameplay, like high priority gameplay. Loops is going to be false. And I guess I could go and like open up each of these sound effects and play them so that you can hear what they sound like. Rather than spending 5 minutes of video time doing that, if you're interested in hearing what these sound effects sound like, feel free to clone the repository. Alright, that's actually a little bit loud, but it did indeed play. Let's see, if I were to send in a wave, pause the game, settings, decrease the volume to like 30%, would that be quieter? Yes. Alright. And obviously if I were to set it to 0, if I were to build another pebble shooter, no sound. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume back on. I'm going to quit the game. Okay. Let's see. Macros for sound priority, and we can say play sound on tower build. Alright, next, that is, I probably should like check off which one of these have been implemented, but let's just go down the list. Faux die, that is going to be... These guys have a die method, right? Yeah, okay, so die, this isn't only, like when something is destroyed, if you, like, leave a level or something. This is when it's actually killed by something and you get money for it. Audio, play, sound, SC, faux, die. The priority is, I said this was going to be a low priority gameplay item, right? Because there's, especially if you have something like the aphids coming out and you squish a lot of them at once, you could have a bunch of sounds overlapping. The priority is going to be that, and loops is going to be false. Okay, let's start the game. And let us enter the campsite. If I were to put up some bug spray, that sound effect does not fit bug spray. It fits like the pebble shooter tower and maybe some of the other ones, but it does not fit bug spray. Let's send you guys in, and we should have some foes dying soon enough. And you can hear them taking damage and dying as they pass through. So these are the pill bugs. They should take a little bit longer, but they'll probably get mowed down in quick succession. Aphids. Yeah, now you can really hear it going. Because there's a lot of aphids close together and they're all taking damage at the same time. Boy. Can I actually try and, like, win this game? Is that gonna happen? Probably not. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time there. That is audio played... What did I say? Play sound on tower build. Let's have all these commit messages have sort of the same shape. Play sound on foe death. Okay. Next, I will get to the menu things later because there's going to be a little bit more of that. SC_cell. Is the cell method in tower? All right, it is. Audio play sound. SC_cell. This is a high priority gameplay effect, just like building a tower. And it does not loop. Pretty much nothing besides background music and the ambient music. The ambient effects are going to loop. If I were to start the game, let's build a pebble shooter, and let us sell the pebble shooter. Okay, so that is like a coin, a cash money bag sort of noise. Okay. Play sound on tower sell. Do I have tower upgrade? I might have intended to play build on tower upgrade as well. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Next, tower bird A. Let's see. When a tower shoots, or in the bird tower's case, when it spawns a bird, I want it to play its own sound. Let's see. Tower spray, tower bird. Hatch bird. This is when a bird is pushed to the birds array. I can say audio play sound. The sound ID is going to be SE. Actually, I have two of them. I have tower bird A and tower bird B. I'm going to choose one randomly with the choose function. SE tower bird A and B. And that's going to make either A or B for the bird sounds play randomly. Priority is going to be tower shots. This counts as a tower shot. That's going to be a low priority. Gameplay effect, no loop. Okay. Let me run the game. And once that comes up, I should be able to build a bird nest. I have enough money for that, don't I? Okay, so when the birds appear, you can hear their chirping. All right. Very nice. We've got sound. We're not doing super good here. One of the grasshoppers got through. Two of the grasshoppers got through. The birds are in, like, orbital resonance with each other, which I feel like is not nearly as satisfying to normal people as it would be for me, but regardless. Alright, enough of that. So, play sound on bird hatch. Okay, what's next? Bug spray. So if I were to go into bug spray, spawn spray, I'm getting good at, I'm just gonna copy paste. I'm getting good at identifying where these sounds are supposed to be played. This is where it actually happens. If the tower does not actually spawn any bug spray, I won't play the sound. But the effect is just gonna be SC_tower_bug_spray. You can probably imagine where the other ones are going to be used. If I were to start the game, campsite, bug spray, and you can hear a spray can noise. Okay, bug spray application. It's got to be the dumbest way of the dumbest like verb for what that's doing ever. Flypaper. So again, I'll copy and paste this. Flypaper is going to be dispense paper, paper count plus plus. SC tower flypaper. In hindsight, maybe making each of these sound effects like logs, its individual commit, isn't the best use of source control, because realistically these are all things that just could be grouped together into one commit, but I'm in the habit of one commit being a discrete task in a game. Anyway, let's dispense some flypaper. Alright, that is, I believe that's a playing card flip. I believe that's not actually like sticky flypaper, but I like the playing card flip sounds better than like a sticky paper sound that at least when I was like looking through all the audio that I had. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to continue playing its sound. Next, the Magnifying Glass. Let's see. That's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to get back to that. The Magnifying Glass is... I can collapse some of these, which have already been implemented. Tower Spray, Tower Bird, Tower Flypaper. This is Tower Glass. I'm going to get back to that. Tower Pebble. This is going to apply to both fire towers and... Actually, do I want it to apply to fire towers? I'll have it apply to fire towers. Fire towers and regular pebble towers. Shoot. I believe they're actually implemented as the same thing too. They just shoot a different bullet, a different projectile. If I were to start the game now, we should have both pebble shooters and fire shooters playing sound effects when we shoot. Okay. Let me put out one of both of those things and send something in. Okay, that's not bad. I was worried that since like a lot of this audio came from like disjointed collections of stuff, that nothing was going to sound the same and it was going to sound like completely stupid, but it could be worse. Some things like the tower build and whatever could stand to sound more like some of the other things, but oh well. Let's see, we're about to lose. I am going to stop that there because that's all I need to know. Play sound on regular tower shot. And I guess I'll push that out to GitHub as well. And let's see. I guess, okay, when you spawn a tower and when you build a tower, we can have the same sound effects play. Is there an upgrade method? All right. Play sound on tower upgrade. Yeah, there we go. It might be ideal to have a different sound for a tower upgrade than for tower build, but this is not a high budget game. I did not mean to open Discord. I wanted to open GitHub Desktop, play sound on tower upgrade. Okay, let's see. Next, among other things, I feel like se_build is a little bit on the loud side. Can I, like, reduce that a little bit? Will this affect the actual sound that it plays as in game? Will that make it less loud? Or am I going to have to actually open it up in Audacity and lower the volume? Alright. It is quieter. That's better, I think. What is that button for? Oh, that's for audio group stuff. Okay. Much better. Interesting. I've really messed very little with audio groups in Game Maker. All right. Regardless, that is the volume of se_build. Also, before I forget, this is a longer sound effect, and it's going to be playing on loop pretty much the entire duration of the game. I think I'm going to set its like compression settings to compressed and streamed, and that should cause it to take up slightly less disk space when the game runs, when the game is like distributed. Right now, since it's like a 2.5 minute loop, se_ambient is a 54 megabyte WAV file. That's a little bit much. I would obviously like that to be somewhat less when the game is just distributed. It sounds fine. It sounds the same as it did. But if I were to say build game, and this is not going to be the actual build of the game, it should take up much less space than 54 megabytes. And since it's going to be streamed from the storage medium, it should also it shouldn't take up too much space in the game's memory, in the program memory when it's running. Let's see, if I were to just extract this to I'm guessing most of the file size is going to be like level data. 16 megabytes compressed. And the final build is 67 megabytes, and SC_ambient is, all right, that's 1 megabyte. So that's significant space savings right there. All the other data should be stored in, I think, data.win. Is that where the audio groups go? I know that's where like sprite information and stuff is stored in the actual code of the game. I'm not sure if audio is separate or not. Anyway, that's why I would like SC Ambient to be compressed. The other sound effects are so small that I don't really care. As you saw, there was like 900 kilobytes between the rest of them and all the other data in the game, but all right. Next, let's see. I said I would do the magnifying glass. This is going to be a little bit differently. This is going to be a little bit different. This is another sound that is a loop. It's sort of white noise. It's not quite white noise. I forget exactly what that sound is. It's some sort of like static, like a slow burn static, is the idea. And it loops. And instead of being a one-shot sound, I'm going to have the magnifying glass. Let's say I'm going to have it keep track of whether or not it's currently like burning something. Let me see. Audio play sound, tower magnifying glass, but only if not audio is playing the magnifying glass sound. So if you're doing damage to something with your magnifying glass and that sound effect is not playing, then you want to play the magnifying glass sound with loop set to true. And let's see. At the beginning of the update, we're going to set is burning equal to false. If you actually burn something is we're going to set is burning equal to true, and I think I will actually down here if is burning else. And if you're not burning anything, if this variable is false, we're going to do the opposite. If audio is playing, that sound, audio, stop. Is it stop audio? Stop sound. Okay. And that's only going to take the one parameter, and we should be able to run the game, and we should be able to hear a little bit of hiss when the magnifying glass is burning something. All right. There's you. Send something in. If it's playing, I cannot hear it. Okay, let's have it spit out in the console if that sound is playing or not. And if it is, then I just need to increase the volume. If it isn't, I need to find out why. Alright, so according to the console, the sound is not playing. And I do not know why. Oh, you know what? Okay, this is burning is only getting set to true. Okay, I had to look at that for a minute. This needs to be down here. Is burning is only being set to true if the tower level is greater than or equal to 3 and you actually apply the burn effect. Okay. Curse is averted. We should be seeing a bunch of 1s in the console now. While the foe is being burned, and we should hear the burn effect happening. Alright, let us send in a wave. There we go. Now we hear it. And if I were to build another one, we're probably going to hear more of the same. Okay, they're actually not being layered on top of each other. I would have expected the static to get louder when you have multiple glasses. Sounds really funny. When you have multiple glasses, like, applying the burn, but I actually do not. Doesn't seem to be getting louder. I hear mostly the foe dying effect. It turns out you can just cheese this entire game by doing nothing but stemming Magnifying Glass. It's good to know. That's overpowered. I win. And I can't actually build anything in here, right? Because the collision information isn't right? Yeah. Okay. Play the sounds on the Magnifying Glass. That is all of the tower effects that I've got so far. Next, I would like some menu stuff. We have menu pause and menu unpause, menu back, rather. Let's see. We are going to put code in the on-click method for pretty much all the buttons in the game. Some buttons may have different sound effects. Let me think. Rather than, like, copying and pasting an audio play sound line of code into every single button in the game, which there are a lot of, I think what I'll do... So UI, what's it called? Graphical stuff, user interface stuff, parent UI. Is it in the button, UI button? Alright, here's where the mouse clicks is detected. I will assign myself a new variable definition. This is going to be a sound on click. Its default value is going to be, well, it's going to be in an asset of type sound. And its default value is going to be none. No one, rather. So no asset. And I will say, when you do onClick, if self.sound onClick is not equal to no one, we're going to play the sound. The priority is going to be whatever I set it to earlier, sound priority UI. And loop is going to be false. Okay. So if I were to have this default to something like SC menu flip, then whenever I click a button, you should hear that sound effect. Alright, indeed. Hear it? Boy, that looks good. It actually really doesn't. So these buttons have their default sound effect, and that is going to be sc_menu_flip. Special buttons, which are going to need their own sound effects, are going to be things such as back buttons. Let's see. I have no idea what any of this that I'm looking for is. Game over lose is going to be variables retry. I should probably have a separate, like, sound effect for restarting, but for now I'll just use select. which I think is also going to be pause. And let's see, the back button. Back to title should be SE menu back. All right, let's try that. I'm going to lose on purpose. I'm going to retry the level. I'm going to lose on purpose again, and then I'm going to go back to the main screen. Boy, that click is loud. All right, we're going to retry. And that was that SE menu flip or SE menu back? Game over, lose. That is playing, right? Hang on. Wait a minute. Did I set the default sound effect for like every button? Oh, okay. Doing that's kind of annoying. If you just drag an asset onto one of these things, it sets the default sound effect, which is not really what I want. All right, this is going to be retry. That's going to be select. And in this one, the default sound is going to be menu back. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, this is the clicking sound that I'm looking for. That is a softer sound for general button interaction. It would also happen if I were to like click on one of those buttons and retry. The select sound is a bit of a sharper noise. And back is a little bit more of a hollow noise. Okay, that's how I intended it to go. So let's do that again with the win screen. If I were to say next level, that's going to be menu. Don't set the default. That's going to be menu select. And if I were to variable definition, back to title, menu back. All right, I'm going to probably spend much of the rest of this video doing nothing but assigning sounds to buttons, which is going to be enthralling, I know. This is quit to desktop. That's going to be back, although I don't know if that'll actually play because the game will be ending. Quit to title. We'll also have that, and no, we'll just have back. All those buttons have the back sound effect. All right, settings. The only thing special here, I think, is the actual back button. Like so. The main pause menu. I think this is going to be resume. I'll give you the back sound effect. The other ones I might also give the select sound effects to. No, I don't think so. I'll just leave that as the default. This is settings, and this is quit game. Navigating forward will play menu flip. Navigating backward will play menu back. And the actual pausing of the game will play menu pause. Game overlay. That is this thing over here. I should probably have a special sound effect for sending in a wave early or something, but I don't know. I'm fine with all those having the default sound effect. Tower select, that is over here. For you, since both upgrade and sell play their own sound effects, and they may not necessarily be tied to the UI, you may be able to upgrade a tower without the UI, and it'll play the sound effect. I'm going to set this to none, and I'm going to set this also to none. UI game, this is just building towers, don't need that. UI level select, this has a back button if I recall. Yeah, that is indeed a back button. Credits has a back button. Are there anything else? There's the URL buttons. I might also have play menu menu select. Let's see. You are back. Actually, I may not. I really do want to reserve the like menu select for like starting a game or something. Whatever. I'll play it. That is the Kenny link, and that is what is that? Fill this in when I add audio, it said. Was that supposed to be a credit link for the where I got the audio from the game? Because if that's the case, I'll need, like... Actually, it's coming from Kenny already, and there's already a link to that, so maybe I'll just put a link to, like, Sonus or something. Alright, anyway, that is the credit screen. Quit. This is going to be the back button, the no button. And this is going to be the yes button. And again, I don't know if this will actually play, because the game is going to end here, but... Say select. UI title screen. This is going to be where you start playing. You can have the select sound effect. This is going to be settings. This is going to be, I think, credits. Credits, and this one is going to be quit. Okay. So what else? When I actually pause the game with the escape key, or unpause the game with the escape key, I'll need to play the pause or unpause sounds there too. But this should be good. We've got sound effects on the UI. That doesn't do anything. Is that going to open a web browser? It is. Okay, so that's working correctly. Perfect. Let's see. I'm also going to have to update this list, I think. Because this list is like several names out of date, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. That's something that I really should be doing like periodically. Alright, I'm also going to give each of the individual levels, the tiles for each of the individual levels, their own sound effect. And that's going to be select. Give me a minute. Alright, that should be enough of that. Again, manually just assigning values to each of 12 buttons can get a little bit on the tedious side, but if I were to just pick a random one. Alright, that does indeed play the correct sound. Okay. So there's still work that needs to be done, as I said. The collision zones where you can build towers and stuff, that needs to be fleshed out a little bit. I'm going to be dealing with that in the future. But let's see, I'm going to quit to title, and then I'm going... Oh, that's a bug. You're not supposed to be doing that. I should probably deselect a spawned tower when you pause the game or something. Let me quit out of this. Did not mean to move you out of there. Let's see, play sounds on UI button click. So that's going to be that. I am going to, let's see, take care of when you hit the escape key. And... Alright, that's when you're in pause mode. Alright, so you're going to play the pause sound when you pause the game, and when you go back to gameplay mode, you're going to play the back sound. That should be everything, I think. Like, I'm obviously not going to bother assigning sound effects to doing things in editor mode, because that's kind of, like, not the point, but... Alright, so we have pause and unpause sounds. Okay. Anything else? So I guess I'll go back to the credits screen and clean up a little bit. So this can be, instead of 3D assets and from Kenny.nl, I can say many assets from Kenny.nl and some sounds from Sonus. And I'm pretty sure I can just like link this page without all the weird stuff at the end of the URL, and that will bring me to this page. Okay, this is the link I'm looking for. Some audio from Sonus, and when you click the button, we're going to open up this page in a browser. Okay, that should take care of the audio credits. I don't know if it's considered proper to like individually cite every piece of audio in here. A lot of them, that's hard because a lot of these are like modifications on the default audio files that are downloaded, or in more than one case, like multiple audio files combined together in different ways. And I guess if I was really meticulous in writing down what I was using, I could do that. But anyway, credits, many assets from here, which is what we're looking for, and some audio from Sonus. That link is correct. Okay. And I also did say that I would update the list of Patreon names. First, let me do that, and then I will open up Patreon on another monitor because I don't want to accidentally show anybody's email addresses. Let's see. All time. And if I can put you in alphabetical order. Alright, Augustin Molina, Brian Lyon, Catherine, Kiara, Connor, David Key, Edward Hall, Koyo Jilly, Gizmo199, Halo Factory, Jason, I need one, Johnny Syrup, Yona, there is another John. I will put you on a separate line because your name is a little bit longer. Indie Punch, Carl, Perdo, Perpetua, Posha, Robert, Tester, Shortbread, the Heavy Metal, Viking Dentist, the 8-Bit Warrior, Tuscan Zenith. Okay, that's the current list. Again, if you want to see your name in the credits, Patreon page down in the video description. Alright, see your name in both the credits of the video and of various things that I make going forward, such as this. I can close that. I'm just going to run this just to make sure that the text is not spilling out of the box, although I don't think it should be because I think there is a free space in the box. Yeah, okay, so there's room for another line or two in the box. If I have to, I'll expand this but I don't think I'll have to. There should be space for another good 3 or 4 names before it even creates another line break. Alright. Yes, please. And we've accidentally activated something. That's not what I wanted. Updated Patreon names. I'm going to push this command. I'm going to mark this as 0.52. As a tag, I'm going to mark this as a release right now. Choose tag 0.52. Week 52. Have I been naming these like week 52 audio? I can never remember. I am not. Later on, I will do background music once I get something worked out with either the guy I'm talking to right now for background music or with someone else. That is likely just going to be 5 minutes at the beginning of some other video in which I will have it play when you enter a level or something like that. It's probably not going to be complicated. For now, let's publish this release. We weren't able to create this release for you. Make sure you have a valid tag. Did I accidentally not do that? Anyway. Week 52 is up. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. Hopefully we will be finishing this game off soon-ish. Bombardier here. There's maybe a half dozen other things that I really want to do in terms of game design before I get around to like releasing the game. Otherwise, I try to post about 2 game dev videos a week, one thing like this and one tutorial. Sometimes it varies. I have a Patreon, as I mentioned just a minute ago, so if you want to see your name in the credits or anything like that, feel free to have a look at that. Links in all the usual places. Otherwise, I hope you found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Connor, Edward Holt, Emily Koyo, Halo Factory, Posho, Sindra Larson, Tusk, and Zenith for supporting these videos. If you want to see your name in the credits or hear yourself shouted out at the end, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.